Link, say goodbye to Felix. Man talk.
Now, 007 First Light from IO Interactive, the same people that gave you the Hitman games and are still going to give you a brand new title after this James Bond release, is something of an anxious wait for many Bond fans, including myself. Now, look, I don't like some of the modern day changes they've made to the actual game. In fact, a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, bro, you're taking it too seriously. I think your audience has messed with your mind." But the thing is, if you do look at the optics of the characters in this brand new modern James Bond, you do have to question it. Like, come on, man, make it an even playing field. But it is what it is. I want to check out this new gameplay preview from IGN, which dropped 17 hours ago. And I still maintain that on the 27th of May, when this game is released, Amazon MGM will announce who the new Bond actor is going to be. And I can exclusively tell you that it is Pedro Pascal.
I would love for it to be after I'm dead.
And this is an Xbox. So is this. And this. This is an Xbox.
.007 First Light second take preview feels like the fresh start that Bond fans deserve. Let's take a look.
If I'm being honest, I must say that I didn't exactly love the way the last run of Bond films wrapped up. To be clear, I'm not down on Daniel Craig.
No,
In
neither
fact,
am
like
I
many
now.
fans, I'm of the opinion that he's the best to ever take the role.
Nope.
The name's Bond.
Timothy Dalton.
James Bond.
Yes.
But there's no question that his 5-film run as 007 had more ups and downs than an Aston
More
Martin
downs than
ejector
ups.
seat. Casino Royale and Skyfall are surely two of the very best entries in the entire 60-year canon.
They were the only two good ones from
But
Daniel
Quantum of
Craig.
Solace was undercooked. Spectre was one fat bastard away from being an Austin Powers style parody.
Yep.
It's always been me, the author.
Shut your cake hole. Come on, let's go on your bike.
And although No Time to Die course corrected to some extent, its bloated length and
Written
bleak
by a
tone has meant
female
that I haven't felt the
activist.
need to return to it since its 2021 release. No Time to Die, more like No Time to Rewatch.
Or No Time to DEI.
After a 3-hour hands-on with 007 First Light at a recent Billy First Look event in
Ooh.
Shanghai, my biggest takeaway from IO Interactive's upcoming spin on Ian Fleming's Super Spy series is that it feels like the fresh start that Bond fans deserve.
Still a bit janky with
We're
the
now 5
animations. What's
years
going on
from
with
the
that?
end of the Daniel Craig saga. And with precious few confirmed details surrounding the next big screen outing for Bond, besides the welcome hiring of Dune director Denis Villeneuve,
And
it
that's what
appears
we're gonna
unlikely
get.
we'll be getting a new Bond movie for another 2 years at least.
I know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That could well end up being the longest
Great
break
editing,
between Bond
IGN.
movies
Let's get
in
on with the actual
series.
gameplay, please. Thank you.
There hasn't been a product so ill-fitting of James Bond since Sean Connery's girdle in Never Say Never Again.
Now with IO Interactive, it feels like we're finally back in safe
That
hands.
Moneypenny
With its
is
Hitman series,
horrendous.
the Danish developer has more or less been making James Bond games in all but name for well over 2 decades at this point. And its expertise in stealth and subterfuge certainly seems more tailor-made for 007 than a Tom Ford suit. From the books to the big screen, the team's love and respect for the source material is clear in First Light, and it pays careful homage to the character's origins, such as the way its fresh-faced Bond gains a permanent scar in the story's opening mission, much like the one described in Ian Fleming's first novel but never portrayed in the films. At the same time, IO is demonstrating considerable restraint so as not to be too slavish to the series' signature hallmarks. You won't hear Monty Norman's iconic Bond theme rattled out during each and every shootout like so many Bond games of yesteryear. Instead, it's held back to properly punctuate his most outrageous stunts. Like when he slips behind the wheel of a garbage truck at the end of the story's Kensington mission to barrel through a sequence of hastily improvised roadblocks.
Don't worry, I'll take good care of that.
Yeah, but you still got the Bond theme. It's just done in a
measured
different
musical
way.
approach makes it all the more exhilarating when those iconic orchestral horns eventually kick in.
I know what Tristan Ogilvy is actually saying. I get it. Quantum of solace, as the Americans
I also
say.
appreciate that IO is putting just as much effort into building the world around Bond as it is into regularly blowing it up. Though the Kensington mission surges from a breathtaking sniper battle to a basement-level boss fight, and Bond's eventual belligerent escape through crush hour traffic, it begins relatively sedately with 007's return to the apartment he shares with two other young MI6 operatives. Since I'd just taken multiple runs through First Light's training course in Malta, all of which began with stealthy intentions but inevitably devolved into scrambling Uncharted-style firefights,
a lot of it's Uncharted style. It's very, it takes his book from Uncharted.
In Bond's humble dwellings before the gun and gadget-based carnage continued. While the mandated use of IO's supplied footage means I can't show you the specifics, there are countless cute touches to pore over here. An unfinished game of Hangman sits on the kitchen table, seemingly spelling out the words poison tip umbrella. On Bond's bedroom bookshelf are manuals about tying nautical knots, presumably from his naval days, as well as a book on ornithology.
Because he's quite the seaman.
He's been an avid bird watcher from the beginning.
Whoa, yeah.
There's also a photo of a young Bond with his parents and a silver brooch left by his late mother to study up close.
This IGN guy's got a bit of a sense of humour to him. I like it.
Flesh out 007's character to this extent, and although it may sound somewhat minor in the scheme of things, I genuinely enjoyed these small touches just as much as the ensuing over-the-top action spectacle. You can even stop to mix yourself a cocktail at the drinks cabinet.
All right.
The many tiny yet vital details like this really helped me to quickly buy into this new Bond, as did the drama of the opening naval mission in Iceland that goes awry and lays the platform for his recruitment into MI6. IO's decision to make this an origin for the youngest ever Bond, not counting
that NPC's got a bit of a nice butt on her.
Of course I'm not, means that everything that would otherwise come across as a tired trope is instead presented in a fresh light, or indeed a first light.
I thought you'd be...
Come on, Ogilvy, stop it.
No, you haven't.
We get to experience the intensity and hesitance of Bond's first kill, the first time that he charms his way into a private party, and the first time he absently sips from a poisoned glass of champagne because he's too distracted by a new female friend. That then leads to Bond's first chair-bound interrogation that uses a nifty provoke and stall minigame to create a level of tension very much on par with the not-so-friendly private chat with Le Chiffre in Casino Royale. Mercifully minus the wince-inducing knotted rope wax to Bond's dangling double
Do you yield, Mr. Bond?
Oh! To the right! To the right! To the right! You are a funny man, Mr. Bond.
He
All of it
is.
feels entirely new to the character, reinforced by a performance from actor Patrick Gibson that has the cocky confidence of youth, but perhaps not all of the wisdom of experience.
You have less than 1% chance of success. Now stand.
And Bond's got a haircut. Wow.
I'll take those odds.
Bond.
I won't pretend that I'm enamored with absolutely every aspect of First Light, however. For starters, I'm not completely convinced by its melee combat. It's rough and tumble as proper Bond fisticuffs should be, and I love the way that during a scrap you can grab anything within reach to crack over an assailant's skull. Whether it's bottles and cups from the countertop in Bond's kitchen apartment, or pool balls from the breakout area in the art
The dodge
museum
mechanics are pretty good.
wing. But it also feels somewhat loose and clumsy at times, especially against multiple foes. Although I might get used to it with a bit more practice, I definitely struggled to get into a consistent groove with Bond's brawling versus smoothly headshotting henchmen or triggering environmental hazards.
I mean, that's probably the thing with IGN, right? They always point out these faults of these video games that have many years development behind them, and yet, I can't quite master the melee mechanics. Perhaps do that, and then once you're fully confident, IGN man or woman, then tell the viewers, yeah, just with a bit of finesse, you can do this. But the way he's saying, it's like, I couldn't get into the swing of things. Oh, well.
Both of which I felt comfortable with almost immediately. Speaking of the gadgets, it also strikes me as being a little bit stingy that you can only get a few uses out of the high-tech tools supplied by Q Branch before you need to manually recharge them. Bond's Q Watch can be used to temporarily blind guards with a zap of a laser.
Yeah, but the whole point about Q's gadgets, they're only there for a certain amount of time. It's not there to make you feel like a god.
but the use of each sneaky skill results in a substantial hit to Bond's watch battery. I can understand the need to put restrictions on the player so that they're
That's
not
a nice touch.
triggering technological traps like they're home alone in an Apple store. But even so, it does feel a little bit video gamey to regularly stop what you're doing in order to rummage around for conveniently placed car batteries in an attempt to scrounge up some juice.
Putting on a good show, Bond.
A bit
Bond's
video
gadget
gamey,
should
but it's a
feel
video
cutting
game,
edge.
Tristan. Come
Not
on.
like they all have the battery stamina of a 5-year-old iPhone you keep in your desk drawer on the off chance your new one is lost. A simple cooldown timer may well have sufficed. Still, much like the scar on Bond's cheek, these small blemishes don't really detract from the overall appeal of First Light, and unlike his power-hungry gadgets, I've come away from my hands-on completely energized and desperately keen to see more. I can't wait to see how the mischievous sense of humor regularly on display in IO Interactive's Hitman games translates to a potentially calamitous tour of MI6's Q branch. I'm dying to get behind the wheel of the new Aston Martin Valhalla, which is a hybrid for the first time in the series because apparently even super spies aren't immune to the current oil crisis. I also couldn't help but notice that the signature gun barrel graphic was conspicuously absent from First Light's opening, which makes me wonder exactly which major moment in this origin story is such an iconic sequence being saved for.
Probably for the end credits.
We'll get answers soon enough, since 007 First Light is set to arrive on PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox Series XS on May 27th, with a Switch 2 version set to release sometime later in the year. It's been a long time between drinks for fans.
No
of
one
James
cares about the
Bond
Switch
games,
2,
but
bro.
From what I've seen so far, this one is set to go down more smoothly than a freshly shaken martini. For more 007 First Light, be sure to check out our recent hands-on.
Yeah, no problem, actually. So what I'll say about the gameplay impressions I've seen of this, it's fine. It's nothing earth-shatteringly fantastic, but it looks like a lot of fun. And I will say as well that in regards to Bond's look, how he's got a shave inside head later on in the footage, that gives him the impression it's maybe a few months later on his mission to track down this rogue 00 agent. So that kind of makes sense. That's you got to have the time jump. That makes complete sense. The stuff where he's driving away in the garbage truck is pretty cool. Again, the melee mechanics, they look okay. I think Uncharted does it better, especially in Uncharted 4, but I think the previous games do have that sort of janky, swanky combat that we kind of all been grown to, or have grown to love, which is really fantastic. But yeah, I think the stealth missions might be the most fun part of the game. I mean, that's why you're playing the James Bond game, right? To feel like James Bond, not Jane Bond, unless you're that way inclined. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I had to take a quick reactionary video for 007 First Light. It looks like a lot of fun. I think the IGN score, predictably, in the end, will be a 007 out of 10. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if I were you and if you were me, I will catch you catching me for the return of the next video.